Right, we're here with Jason Ashley in Dress Montgomery, who is custom fit specialist for Golf House. Welcome back, Jason.
Oh, thanks, Paul. Thank you for coming.
So let's talk today a bit about people choosing the right club head for their game.
Yeah, very good topic. Interesting. A lot of golfers will struggle in understanding how to get the right club for their game. Certainly the right head. Heads are designed specifically for certain players. So we'd look at game improvement clubs in terms of irons. We'd look at a more bladed or a smaller cavity back for a better player. How you choose that? There's a few things you'd look at. You'd obviously have to like the look of a golf club. So you'd be wanting to look at the aesthetics of it, and it's got to be pleasing to the eye, because that's where you're going to build some confidence in strike. But then also you need to be realistic about certain things. So a game and improvement club is going to be helping your off-centered strikes, so a little bit more peripheral weighting around the whole golf club, so you're going to get a better flight and shape from your off-centered strikes. In other words, straighter shots on off-centered hits and more consistent distance. So the less forgiving the golf club, the smaller the sweet spot, but also the off-centered hits, you're going to lose your distance control and things like that. So those are important factors. Better players would also look at the workability of a golf club. How can I shape the shots? How can I control my ball flight? Generally with a more forgiving golf club, they're designed to hit it in the air, and which is obviously an easier thing to do more regularly with a more forgiving golf club.
Is this the same procedure for irons and drivers as well? I mean, is it different? How does it differ?
Yeah, you would look at a little bit different. Basically, you'd look at the forgiveness aspect would be the same. So the off-centered strikes, you'd be looking at a bigger head, slightly more moment of inertia, which is basically just the less twisting on off-centered hits. So it is slightly different. With drivers, you are starting to look at slightly smaller heads, similar to the blades, which would be designed for better players. Then you would take one aspect that you probably wouldn't get as much in irons, which would be certain heads are designed specifically to spin the ball less. Right? So you'd be looking at a guy who hits the ball quite hard and hits it quite high. He's looking to spin the ball less. So specific drivers come out with less spin and more spin. There's quite a few difference of those through drivers. Why don't I go show you a few examples of what I'm talking about? Okay, so I've got two golf clubs here. I've got a blade and I've got a more forgiving cavity back. Okay, we're going to have a look at the difference in the two. So if we have a look at the soles, you can see there's a difference in thickness on the soles, right? And if you have a look at the back of the golf club, you can see a difference. Obviously this one over here has got a cavity on it, and this one here doesn't. Okay, this one would be a much more forgiving golf club. This one's not going to be as forgiving, right? But there's benefits to both. Better players would normally prefer a thinner sole so they could work the ball a little bit more, and this one's going to be launching the ball a lot higher, and you're going to get a little bit more bounce with a thicker sole, so it'll help with sort of fat shots and things like that.
Okay, Jason, well, thanks for your time. We appreciate that, and we'll see you in the next part.
Absolutely, pleasure.